Jack, it was a bit of a disappointing loss on Saturday, but for you it was a huge milestone in your recovery, first game in more than 12 months. Must have been awesome to get back out there at SANFL level.
Yeah, obviously disappointing result, probably didn't play the way we sought out to play, but me personally it was great to get out there with the boys again and put on the Norwood jumper, which I've been looking forward to do for over a year now. Personally didn't have the performance I was after, but it was just good to get the cobwebs out and run alongside the boys and contribute any way I can, really. Yeah.
Talk us through your journey, I guess, over the last 12 months. You injured yourself quite seriously in round 4 last year, which was your first year back at Norwood, and you talk us through your journey sort of from there.
Yeah, so injured, I think it was round 4 last year against Glenelg, second quarter, and I mean, the main emotion for me straight after the incident was how grateful I was that it did go. I was very lucky. A lot of people aren't as fortunate with those sort of injuries to come out the way I did, and obviously it's disappointing not to be able to play the rest of the year. But yeah, to be able to come out at the end of it, have a full recovery, something I'm extremely grateful for. Obviously spending a fair bit of time in the spinal ward at the hospital, you understand pretty quickly how lucky you are. So yeah, it was a long time, I guess, living in a halo brace for 4 months in a literal cage on your head. You do a lot of personal reflection, and be, like I said, grateful to come out the other end of it with a full recovery, and yeah, no supersits.
Talk us through what the injury actually was.
So I fractured my C1 vertebrae, which is the top vertebrae. It was a Jeff's fracture, so a burst fracture, so very safe, sort of no movement of the vertebrae, so missed, no interaction with the spinal cord. Again, very lucky. And yeah, since then, with multiple scans and rehabilitation, I've reached full recovery and fully healthy around that area. But yeah, it was initially very scary. Not something you go into full expecting to get injured with, but yeah, very lucky.
Do you know, you keep saying how lucky you are, do you know how close it was to something extremely serious?
Yeah, I think when I first went into hospital with it, I was a bit laid back, thinking I might have, obviously I was in a fair amount of pain, but might have strained my neck and didn't realise the severity of what I did. Obviously, fracturing a vertebrae that high up is extremely dangerous. Lucky for me, there was no movement. It was purely a front-on sort of fracture. So, in that sense, I was it was safe, but very lucky that it didn't go the other way.
Yeah, and how long and difficult and tough was the recovery process?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Josh, it was probably the hardest year of my life. I think the halo was one thing. I couldn't lie flat for 4 months. I had to sleep upright. Obviously, it couldn't come off, so it was very sweaty. My hair grew a fair bit, so it was quite uncomfortable. But I think it certainly made me a better person, and I've come out at the end of it, I think, a better footballer and a better person at this football club. It was quite difficult as well, obviously, leaving the halo, and then you think you're going to be out, and then you go into another brace, which is one you can take off, and then was in that for a couple of months. And but I mean, this club and the medical team and this team, and especially Twig, have been instrumental in helping me get back.
Yeah, and the neck brace and the halo brace is a pretty startling look, isn't it, to look in the mirror and see yourself like that?
Yeah, it's pretty, certainly, it was funny going for walks with a dog or going to the gym to go on the bike, or everyone looking at you like, what's going on with this bloke? Like, looks like one of those old braces systems going on, but it was a funny experience. Yeah.
Was there a moment or two where you thought you played your last game of footy?
For me, as soon as the injury happened and I was told of the injury, I definitely, my goal was to always get back to playing. Obviously there was boxes I needed to tick off returning to full health, but I love this game so much, and this footy club, and I've never probably missed something so much, and if anything, my love for the game has grown even more. There's not much that can steer me away from playing, so it was always a goal to get back.
Yeah, it must have been a pretty bit of pill to swallow. You know, you're probably in the prime of your career. I listed not too long ago, come here and hoping for a big season or ahead, and yeah, you struck down by that. Must have been pretty tough to take.
Yeah, I mean, coming back to Norwood, really wanted to play my part and play some good footy, and didn't have the start to the year I was after. And then to be knocked back into an injury like that, it's sort of, you do a lot of personal reflection, and I think, yeah, I mean, it was obviously very disappointing, but grateful to be back now.
Talk us through the support that the club, the players, the coaches have had in your recovery.
Yeah, they've been instrumental. I probably couldn't have done this sort of injury in a better environment. The medical team here have been extremely helpful, not just on a physical level but a personal level as well. This team and this group of lads we got playing at the moment is quite unique. I've never been involved in a club or a team like this one, and the coaching staff as well reaching out, especially Twig. I mean, he first person to come visit me in the hospital, stayed in regular communication with me, and he's someone I owe a lot to. I respect a lot as a coach and as a person, and I mean, my goal from then on was just I wanted to get back and play for this group. I want to play for this team, and I want to play for Twig. So they've been instrumental in helping me get back.
Yeah. So at what point with your neck injury did you get back to being able to rejoin the group as full training?
Yeah. So I got back into full contact training around end of February, and then that was just getting into bag work and ticking off the boxes and getting the neck strong, obviously, and then so I was ready to go for the first trial, and then unfortunately in the first internal trial game I had a little bit of an ankle injury, and it set me back for some surgery. So that set me back another few months, but that again, that was nothing compared to the neck, so I was not fazed by that.
Yeah. Get to the point where you're playing trial games and you're thinking the season is that close, and then you do a bit of an ankle injury. That must have been so deflating to push your timeline back a little bit further again.
Yeah, it was. It was a real kick in the guts. It was like serious, another thing to tick off. But like I said, there's players in this squad that have been out for 1 to 2 years. Max Hodges, incredible journey. He's out for almost 2 years. So there's always a worst case scenario. And again, I'm grateful to be back playing within a year and a bit.
Recovered from ankle, recovered from neck, and you play your first reserves game at Elizabeth Oval. Must have been good just to get back out there.
Yeah, it was good to get back out there. Good ground to test the fitness on the big deck. I was on sort of managed minutes that game, so I was kind of getting a little bit of a taste of it. And now I've strung a couple of games together. Now it's just about building that consistency of performances and go from there.
First win for the club as well. The first senior win. That must have been exciting. Just another nice little moment for you.
Yeah, it's quite funny. I played probably 8 reserves games when I was 18. Didn't win one then. So it was good to be able to sing the song as a senior player for the first time, definitely.
Yeah, 100%. And then after everything you've been through, neck injury, ankle injury, to finally get back out there at the top level, SANFL, must have done a bit of reflecting on that moment and what you've been through.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was a great moment for me. I've had a lot of help, but I put in a lot of work. And to run out there with a group of boys that I respect so much, to play for a coach like Twee was really a great moment for me personally and the family.
Yeah. And how'd you go? Was there any moments where you thought twice about going for a ball or anything like that, or did you just straight game mode?
No, there's no hesitation on my part. Fully strong, lots of fresh new bone around the neck. I'm feeling stronger than I've ever been, and as fit as I've ever been, so there's no real hesitation there.
Yeah, awesome. And God, it must be an exciting and great environment at the club right now. It's nearly to the halfway point of this season, 7-1 in the SANFLs, 8-0 reserves. So it must be a great environment to be a part of.
yeah, there's a great environment. It's testament to the coaching staff and Twig of the environment they've created. It's changed a lot from when I first walked through the doors in the senior program when I was under 18s in 2020. And yeah, now everything seems to be clicking, but we're certainly not getting complacent. We know we're going to keep driving for success and improvement every week, and hopefully get towards the end, back in the year with success.
Yeah, thanks for that, Jack.
No worries, thanks, Josh.
Jack Saunders made his return game on the weekend. After everything he's gone through, it must have been really awesome to see him get back out there at SANFL level.
Yeah, it sure was. Yeah, he had a really strong summer and had to graduate through a lot of different stages with the rehab from his neck. And once he got to a point of full contact, yeah, he fully immersed himself in the program. He showed minimal hesitation and was going really well until he had a bad ankle injury in internal trials. So that set him back another 8 to 10 weeks. Yeah, his desire to want to be a good player is really high. He does a lot more work than just what's offered in the program. So as people would have seen, he's energetic, he looks fit, he's strong, and it'll take him a game or two just to get back to the full flow of senior footy. But yeah, it was incredible from what had transpired 12 months ago to think that he's back playing again.
Yeah, 100%. You know, this time last year he was in a halo around his head. You know, that takes a great deal of perseverance, doesn't it? And a special type of person to come back from that to play at league level.
Well, it does, and considering prior to the neck injury, one of our practice matches he got escorted off the ground in an ambulance from an accidental head collision. So he didn't have a desirable year after coming back from Hawthorn last year, but testament to the character that he wasn't prepared to throw it in. He wanted to keep fighting and pursue a footy career and be a Norwood player. And so yeah, we've been really pleased to have him remain part of the club through that period, but really thrive at the back end of it and emerge as a senior player again.
Yeah, it's pretty easy when you're in a halo and you're going through your head knock and then your neck injury, then do your ankle. Pretty easy to think, why me? But spoke to him then. You know, he says there's always someone in a worse position. Speaks a lot to his character. Yeah,
it does, and that's what we all get tested with through our individual journey is how you deal with setback. And some are more extravagant and high risk returns than others, but ultimately that's how we get assessed. And there's not too many players I've worked with who've had linear progress from their first game to their last and have a smooth sailing journey and continue to improve. There's always been setback, and Jack's been served up with a couple of curveballs and through his own individual desire, but also the environment to support him and help him through it. I think we've been able to get him back in a position where his best footy's now ahead of him at senior level.
Yeah, and he's an important player for you. Provides a bit of spark in the forward line.
Yeah, and he's got a high level of athleticism and he's a high-end competitor as well. So those two combined can make a dangerous commodity. And yeah, he got himself to a point through the summer where he trained himself to be a consistent performer within our forward line with a view that potentially it could be midfield in time. But yeah, he's got a lot of traits that are suitable to a Norwood player, but in particular this competition. So yeah, we certainly think his best footy's ahead of him.